What's up YouTube, it's your boy Bodega Fresh, and today I am back with a storytime video, but it's different than my retail super stories, which you guys seem to really enjoy and I appreciate it deeply. I will have more stories to come, but I also want to open the floor to you guys and have more interaction with you guys. And if you guys feel like you have an interesting stupid story, you know, that happened at your job or in life or just something in general, if you want, you could submit them to me at my Instagram. It'll be right down here, and if I get multiple choice, you know, like options, I'll pick which one I think is the best story and read it out, as well as giving you a shout out and whatnot, because I know there's other stories out there and I want to hear what you guys experienced and whatnot. So by all means, make sure to send them down below. But this story is gonna be a little more serious, because it's not something that's happened to me while at work. This is something that I've seen and witnessed and experienced while I was at school. Now, I'm not gonna put the professor on blast, like say his actual name and whatnot, as well as my friends who were in the class with me. I'm gonna give these people nicknames and different names and stuff like that, as well as I'm not blatantly calling this guy a racist. It's just he said offensive things, and I'm gonna leave it up to you guys how you view him as a person after the story. So with all that being said, guys, if you're prepared for this story, here we go. So this takes place about a year or so ago, maybe even a little bit longer. I was at this college that I attended, and I was taking a class that revolved around music and sound. So I needed to take this class to finish out the major, like to get a certificate of completion in the major that I was going to this college for, right? I didn't want to take the class, but I had to. I wanted to take something else, but it didn't work out that way. But the one bright side was I had my friends with me to take the class, and it was really cool because at least, like, I didn't want to be there. At least it was kind of like hangout hour, I guess, just to be around my friends, and the class was once a week. So we had this professor named Jonathan, and the first day of class, it just like a normal class. We're listening to him run through the syllabus and talk to us. He was kind of like egotistical, kind of. He's like, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. I was in the industry for like 30 years doing music and sound, and I was just like, okay, yeah, that's cool, good for you, man, like, congrats, you know, what do you have to teach us? And he started off not bad, but like as the semester kind of got forward, especially when it came to around February, is when he really just took a nosedive. And I say that because in February, we all know what it is. It's Black History Month, right? Everyone knows what month that is. And while, you know, like, not everyone's agreed that it's important or not, like they say, like, why should we have this month? But that's a whole discussion in itself, right? Let me give you a little backstory. This professor is so odd. He reminds me of Michael Scott from The Office, but like just not fun and not funny at all. No! 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 Like, he says those really cringy things that you shouldn't say, but it's not a TV show where he can get away with it. This is real life. So in February, he mentions this internship for us, and we're like, oh cool, like we get to work at a different college running music and sound at their school, which was a little weird because that school doesn't let their own students who are learning to do this run the program. So he offers this idea to us, and he goes, and for those of you who are into like urban music and Hispanic music, this is a good place for you guys. And I was like, why? I'm looking at my friend Philip. I'm like, why did he say urban music? Why couldn't he just say like rap and R&B, right? Like a normal person would. And then he just like laughs it off, and we're just like, all right, whatever. And then he talks about how, like, also with Black History Month, it's big over there. And we're just like, wow, is that his nice way of just saying that there's more black people and Hispanic people over there compared to where I was at? And the town that I'm at is predominantly more of a whiter area, which is fine. Alright, so we're just all looking at him like, okay, you're kind of feeding around the bush on how you say things. You're saying things very vaguely, and I'm not a fan of it. There's a bunch of other mixed, kids, minorities in this class. We're all just like kind of weirded out by how he's saying this. And then he goes, seeing as Black History Month is not as important here as it is over there. And we're just like, what? And then we had this kid, and his name was Brandon, I think. I don't remember. Where he stuck up his hand and was just like, yo, Professor Jonathan, why is it more important over there in that town than it is over here? And I was like, yo, that's a valid question. Was not expecting him to say it, because he was of the lighter skin, persuasion, which is, like I said, nothing wrong with it. Like, the dude was cool as hell. He rapped and made music. Dope stuff, right? So I was like down with this. I'm like, listen, like, yeah, why? And the professor looks at us and goes, well, it's not like we have any black kids in our class. And we're just like,
something is wrong with you.
What? What did you just say, dude? Like, he was like, yeah, like, so it's not really that big of a deal here. And then he goes, are there any black kids here? And like a couple hands just go up, like, mixed, black, fully black. He's not a brown-skinned white person, so like, how are you saying this? And we were all very confused, like, wow, he really just said this. And I think he got very uncomfortable by the response not being there's no black people in this class, where he literally went and walked out the class for 5 minutes. And we were just like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Did he really just say this? Like, are we in The Office? Like, are we in that universe right now where Michael is just saying whatever he wants and we're supposed to be okay with it by like the end of 20 minutes? Because like, it had me fucked up. He eventually comes back and instead of addressing the situation and apologizing for what he has said and knowing that he was wrong, he flipped it and was like, alright, today we're going to do this for class. We're going to watch documentaries about sound or Howard Stern. Because like, who really cares about Howard Stern after your professor kind of saying Black History Month's not important? Which, like, some people may feel that way, but you don't say that as a professor to your students. So, ugh. That was one instance where like he would, say things like put his foot in his mouth. The other time was basically him talking about how, like, this was around the time where cops were being scrutinized for killing people while they were stopping them. Like, oh, like, pull over to the side and shooting them. So tensions were high between minorities and just not feeling loved by police officers. And so like, I told him, I said, yo, I'm brown. I don't care if I don't do anything wrong. I'm always going to be afraid of the cops, because you never know, right? And then him and along with this other kid was like, well, if you did nothing wrong, you should have nothing to be afraid of. I'm like, that's not the point. I'm still going to be afraid. You never know what's going to happen, right? And he goes, well, the professor says, well, it's probably due to me being white and like 40 years old, where I don't get pulled over by the cops. And I was just like, cause like, everyone jokes like, oh, you're white, you get away with everything, the cops won't pull you over. But he's like saying it where you're just like, you're making this true. Like, you're making me feel like this is so true and this is facts. And a lot of the kids got upset, like, we're not in a political science class or politics class. You should kind of keep your opinions on these things to yourself, because you never know what someone's going through. Like in the classroom, we don't know if someone's had a rough time with the law and feels like they get picked on for their skin color. You never know. And he would say things like this where, like, going to the class, you didn't want to go because you knew you were just gonna get upset. There were a couple times where I just left the class early because I couldn't deal with these comments that he would say. Like, I was like, dude, like, you don't get what you're saying is offensive. And I just chalked it up to him being Canadian, and the only black people they knew were Drake, And you know, like, but at some point, because I worked with a Canadian female where she would ask me questions like that, like, oh, you really go to an all-black church? Like these questions where you just be like, have you never met a black person before, or like a Hispanic person? Like, are these questions like, why are you asking me these things? And they would ask you like very interesting questions. And so I chalked it up to being him being Canadian and naive. But like at some point you just do like, dude, whoa, like stop talking, please. Because he would always refer to any music that wasn't rock and roll or country, the stuff that he listened to, he would refer to it not by its name. Urban music. You don't have people calling country, like, I don't like label country as, it's not labeled as redneck music, like it's country music or rock and roll. But he would never refer to it as hip hop or rap or R&B. It'd be like urban music and Hispanic music, not Spanish music or reggaeton or whatever. So like he would say these comments, which after a while just became irritating, especially if someone who's mixed like me, like, I don't want to be around you. And then one of the last moments that really pushed people off, like turned them off about him, was that we somehow got into this topic where a friend of mine, I'm not going to say her name, was talking about she had an incident at Target where someone ran up and like groped her and then booked it, and how she was upset. I don't remember how we even got to this part in the class. And everyone's like, wow, that sucks. Like, damn, we're sorry for you. And the professor, this is your moment to redeem yourself for all the bullshit you said, because she is mixed. So she probably is still a little upset about the Black History Month thing, right? And he goes, man, at your age, I wish someone would have groped me at Target. Stupid. I'm not even making this up. Like, that's the sad part. It's like, I can't make this up because I have multiple people that I went to class with that can vouch for this story. And that's the crazy part about it. And it just makes me so like confused how someone who got a job full-time to teach sound and music at a good community college, like one of the tops in the country, gets away with saying this. I don't know why I never decided to go to like the dean and talk about like, hey, this dude said some crazy stuff, like, can we put him in check or get rid of him? Because this is not cool. I don't know why we never did it. You know, we just put up with all the things that he would do or say, or his comments, and just how he was just so irritating and cringy all at once, because it was once a week class and I needed to take the class and pass it so I could get my certificate and leave. And it's just crazy. Like, I was talking about this to my friends, some who were in the class, like, you should definitely make this a video, because, you know, it's like, who's experienced something like this? I don't know a lot of people who have, and having my experience there with him was just such a bad one for a professor who could say things like that. Like, forget the Black History Month thing. Forget kind of like throwing your privilege in people's faces, or just that like, oh, I don't have to worry about anything because, you know, I'm a white guy in a nice area where I don't have to worry about getting pulled over by the cops. Fine, that's your flex, go for it. But then when you talk about how someone's been groped in public and how they're upset and annoyed they were with it, and then you say you wish someone would have did that to you, dude, you're a scumbag, like, for real. And like I said, I'm not trying to say that he's racist or whatnot. That's up to you guys to decide. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want people to give him hate. You know, it's just something I've experienced, been around, and his actions and what he would say. So, guys, I know this is very different than my more funny story times of things that I've went through, and I'll have more of those, like I said. And if you want to submit your stories, make sure to do so at my Instagram. It'll be right here, and get in contact with me about that. I'm interested to see what kind of stories you guys have to say, and I want to voice your stories out there. But guys, if you enjoyed this expose story time of my crazy professor. I don't even know what to call this at this point. My crazy professor. Make sure to bomb the like button down below. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and ring the bell to be notified anytime I drop a video. I have more videos coming. Sorry, I was on like a vacation. My dad came to town and I graduated that school. And I just been kind of like getting ready for my next college that I'm going to and moving out. So just been busy with that. But guys, I really appreciate if you're tuning in for the videos. And with that being said, I will catch you guys next time, because I'm the freshest dude on YouTube, and I'm out. Peace.